Okay, this is another simple multiplication situation here. Question 8. Katrina's monthly salary is $2,400. She uses 2/5 of this money to pay her rent. How much rent does Katrina pay? Well, we want to find, remember, again, you want to find the percent of something. So this is 2/5 of 2,400. So if we imagine for a second that this is $2,400 and this is $0, what we want to find out is if this was split into 5 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we want to find out how much this much is. This would be 2/5 of that number. So the way we're going to do that is simply by multiplying 2,400 times 2/5, because we know that any number that is smaller than 1 is going to actually reduce in size. Okay, so let's see here. If we have 2,400, it's the same as saying 2,400 over 1 times 2/5. Okay, so 2,400 times 2 will be 4,800, and that will be over 5. So now we just have to remember this line here, that means divide, so it really means 4,800 divided by 5. And I'm just going to be lazy and pull up my calculator here and say 4,800 divided by 5. And that gives me a total of 960. That's how much rent she has to pay each month, 960 bucks. Okay, let's take a look now at number 11. Okay, so this one's a little bit trickier question. It says, a jug contains 2½ cups of juice. Okay, Siobhan pours 3/8 of a cup of juice into each of 3 glasses. So he's going to do this into 3 glasses. He's going to pour the same amount of juice, and I'm sorry my board is being funky here, but he's going to pour juice into 3 glasses, and he's going to pour 3/8 of it in there. And then in one other cup, he's going to pour 5/6 into it. Okay, so he's going to pour 5/6 in. And these ones, he's just going to pour 3/8. So it's, so my board is just funny here, but point is that it's about half, just a little bit less than half. Okay, so he's going to do that. So going back to being, a jug contains 2½ cups of juice. Siobhan pours 3/8 of a cup of juice into each of 3 glasses, then 5/6 of a cup of juice into a 4th glass. Question A asks us to estimate the fraction of the apple juice that is going to remain in the jug after all this has been poured out. Well, we know this is about half, and this is about 1. So when you think, well, this is 1, and then there's 3 halves, so a half and a half would be a whole, plus one other half would be 1½ plus another 1. Well, that's 2½ but it's a little bit less than that. There's a little bit less than 1 here, and there's a little bit less than half here. So I'm going to say I'm going to estimate about half a cup. Okay, now it's just an estimate. It doesn't have to be exact, but it has to be in the ballpark. You wouldn't estimate that there would be more liquid left in the cup, and you wouldn't estimate that there would be no liquid left in the cup, because you know that there will be. Okay, but it just gives us a little bit of an estimate. So now it says, B, calculate the total amount of juice in the 3 glasses that contain the same amount. So we're talking about this one right here. Well, that's just a simple multiplication question. You're just taking 3/8 and you're doing it 3 times. So we just go 3/8 times 3, and it's going to tell us. So 3 times 3 is 9 over 8. That's equals to 1 and 1/8. All right, 1 and 1/8. That is going to be our answer for B. All right, now, question C. Calculate the total amount of juice in the 4 glasses. All right, well, we know we've got 1 and 1/8, or 9/8. So let's go 1 and 1/8 plus 5/6. And, well, first of all, let's separate this out. So let's go 1 here, and let's go 1/8 plus 5/6. And that is going to give us, we got to find a common denominator. The closest one is going to be 24. So multiply that by 3 and this by 4. And we're going to end up with a total of 3 24ths plus 20 24ths. And when we tally all of this up, we're going to end up with 1 and 23 24ths. All right. So 1 and 23 24ths. All right, so that's good. We're doing all right so far. Now we've tallied all that up. We know that there's almost 2 cups that have taken place, that have been poured out. Compare that to 2.5 cups that are up here, and our estimate in the first one was 1/2 cup left over. So because this is pretty close to 2 cups, yeah, we were pretty good on our estimate. Okay, so let's put that in there. So 1 and 23 24ths was the total there. The board is driving me crazy today. All right, and the last one, it says here, how much juice remains in the jug after the 4 glasses have been poured? Well, we know that we can simply just do a simple subtraction here. So let's go to another page to do it. So we go 2.5 minus 1 and 23 24ths. All right. Now we could do the separate method, but we know that the conversion method works best for mixed numbers when we're dealing with subtraction. So let's start by converting here. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, over 2 minus 24. Let's see here, that will be 47. 47 over 24. Okay. Now, simply have to make sure that we find a common denominator. In this case, it will be 24. All right, so let's multiply this by 12, and we're going to end up with 60 over 24 minus 47 over 24, and we end up with a total of 13 over 24. So just barely more than 1/2 cup. Okay, because 1/2 cup would be 12 24ths, or 13 24ths. For just over 1/2 cup, we made a good estimate. All right, let's check out number, what are we on, 11? Let's check out number 14 to end it. All right, last question. So Nathan used 2 5/6 loaves of bread to make sandwiches for lunch. Okay, he made equal numbers of 4 different types of sandwiches. What fraction of a loaf of bread did Nathan use for each type of sandwich? All right, so basically this is basic division. He's making 2 5/6 loaves. He's dividing them into 4 different types of sandwiches. So we're just going to simply say 2 5/6 divided by 4. Well, we know with division, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to convert this. So this is going to become 17 over 4. 2 times 6 is 12, and 5 is 17. Excuse me, divided by 4 over 1. Now what we're going to do is we're simply just going to multiply by the reciprocal. So this can become 17 over 4 times 1 over 4, and that is going to be 17 over, sorry, I made a huge mistake here. Let me back up a track. Made a calculation error here. Aha. See what I did? I hope you caught it before I did. Okay, 17 over 6. This is going to be 17 over 6. 6 times 4 is 24, and this is his answer. He has used 17 24ths of a loaf of bread for each type of sandwich. All right, see, we all make mistakes. The important thing is that we catch them and we correct them. And like I said, I hope you're on the ball and you caught me before I caught myself. All right, if you have any problems with any of these, come in for extra help. Rewind the videos, watch them as many times as you want. Good luck, everybody.